What's up, everyone? How's it going? Happy Saturday morning. I'm gonna make an announcement on Discord really quick. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know how everything sounds. We'll get started on something new today. Discord announcement. Okay. Sound okay. Okay. Yeah, Tropeo time. Let's see who's in here. Daisy, how's it going? Cooking Fish Love, how you doing? Lurban Mains. Bunkosko, hello. Furious. Hey Furious, how's it going? It's good that you're that you're in here because I was gonna ask you how big the Tropeo is compared to a human. So if you have like a estimate, that'd be great. So I can just scale him up right away, you know. Okay, well let's get started. That way you're not looking at a white screen for too long. I have a bunch of references that I've gathered past couple days, and we'll just see how it goes. Thanks, Furious. I appreciate it. Okay, new pterosaur, blank scary page. Let's start with the head, or should we start with just the overall proportions? Proportions are harder because every reference I have is posed in like a just like a standing pose, like on the ground. And I want, for the sake of modeling, I want to model him with his wings totally out. So, what should I do? As far as I know, we don't have a ton of Tropeo stuff either. Like I found stuff for his head, like fragments of the face. But I don't know about the body. I might need to use something else for the body. I'm thinking out loud here, guys. So this is like, normally I wouldn't say all of this stuff. I would just do it, you know, but I'm trying to narrate it for everyone. So I'm looking at this. Let me copy this so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'm looking at this. This is not Tropeognathus. This is an ornithochirid. And that's also confusing because it looks like there's a lot of synonyms with Tropeognathus. So like previously species that were considered separate that are possibly the same species, just different specimens. That was confusing in my research as well. This is from Mark Whitten. That's the artist. Furious, thank you. I'll put this in my reference sheet right away. So maybe I'll use Mark's like proportions for this skeleton here. And then I want it like completely flying though. So we might cheat a little bit. Give me 1 second. Because I don't really like working on skeletons that are posed. So let me save this image. Make a new folder. Tropeognathus. I want to export the image, not the scene. Bear with me, guys. Sorry. Where? There we go. Export. Okay. So I think I got that. We're gonna go into ZBrush because I need to unpose the skeleton basically, and I need a framework for that. And I mean, I've done things in the past, like if you get a skeleton that you're trying to work with from like a paper or something, and it's in a pose position, you can like do Photoshop stuff and unpose it. But that's kind of tedious, and I don't want to do that right with this too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use ZSpheres. One of the advantages of knowing how to use 3D also in your 2D is I can do stuff like this. So we are going to start. This is going to be like imagine like a stick figure, right? Because I don't care about the details. I care about proportions. So I'm using these as like measurements more than like actual representation of what I'm not trying to make it look like a skeleton. I just want the posability and I want the proportions correct. And if these proportions need to change later, because this, like I said, this is Ornithochirus, not Tropeognathus, then we can change it later. But for this purposes of just getting started, So now I know how long the face is. This will be the arm. Actually, we'll do this. I think that's pretty much all I need. I need this little tail. Ashley, thank you. Yeah, we're just getting started. I haven't even started to draw yet, so now that I have these proportions, what I can do is I can unfold the bones essentially and get a pose that I want. Let's do it like this first, though. We'll probably do a standing pose just to cover the bases there, but I want to make sure that the side view and the top view are covered. And then the legs, he's going to be flying, so they're going to be out like this. And then this will be a good base to draw on top of. Put his little tail up. Put it in game like this, like a little stick figure guy. Hey, -1, how's it going? Okay. I think we want it more like this. I'm trying to imagine how the wing membrane will look. That looks fine to me. Turn off the floor. Gizmo. Hi, how's it going? Okay, this is all I need. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I want to make sure that I'm not... I'm giving... I need to give his chest more width, probably. Those would be like his shoulder muscles. We might, I don't know if I'll save this. I don't know if, I mean, as far as like the armature, because I could reuse this when we go into 3D. But I don't know if I will sculpt him from ZSpheres or not. Okay. So let's take this stuff. We'll just screenshot it. Screenshot that. Put that in here. And then screenshot the top view. Put that in my ref sheet. And there we go. So we'll go back to the turn off that ref because we don't, well, we still need that, but I will be looking at it at a different screen. Chat. Okay. So we'll grab our reference stuff that we just made and pop it in. Then we can get started on the drawing. Okay. Any ideas for the beak yet? Not really. I'm just getting started, so we'll see how it goes. There are certain things that I am going to exaggerate. I've had discussions with Furious and I had discussions with Islander about certain things that we want to like reinforce with the design. But we'll see how it ends up panning out. Is that the brush that I like? It's too specific for right now. I want the pencil. So we'll start by just laying in some shapes for the head. This area. What's the point of having both Aram and Tropeo? Are you talking about, is there like a separate, are you talking about a different pterosaur? I don't know what Aram is. Aramberginia. Okay. I have not seen that. Let's see. I don't know what that pterosaur is. Oh, it's an Asdarkid. Okay. Pretty big one. For those of you asking about like full releases and stuff like that, I don't have ETAs, sorry. Yeah, I'm not the one to elaborate on that for you. I just work on the models as I have time, you know. All I can say is that we are working really hard to try and get you guys something to play, so. So the teeth on this guy are going to be a big deal. I want them to look pretty cool. So we'll probably spend a lot of time on the teeth. These guys are always so weird to work on because their heads are gigantic. It looks like you're doing something wrong when you're working on these. Will the teeth be covered or uncovered? I don't think there's any evidence for lips in pterosaurs. I think they're pretty well considered to have beaks. The teeth will come out of the beak. Nice, Caladron. That sounds great. Yeah, as much reference as you can gather. I have a whole, I could probably use more, honestly. You can never, I don't think you can ever have too much reference. So on the side view, stuff with wings is always like a little bit awkward to deal with because the wings get in the way of the side view. You can see him right here. This would be the wing. If I put the wing on, then I can't see the body, and when I'm sculpting, I'll need to see the body. So I might keep the wings off the side view and just do like a kind of like a cutaway thing, or like we see the membrane, you know, like kind of flat like this, like an airplane wing cross section. And then we'll do like the top view with the full wing on it. I am going to be giving this guy fuzz, so he is going to have like a fuzzy pycnofibers, technically they're pycnofibers on him. He's not going to be just this naked bird. -1, thank you for the donation. Thank you. Furious, tell them I know the tech demo comes tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you, -1. That would be like a pretty mean like April Fool's Day joke, right? Gizmo. Take your time with release. Don't listen to Minus. Thanks, Gizmo. ear back here. I feel like I have most things roughed in here. I gotta get his little feet in here. I think... How many toes does this guy have? Like 4? I think they have 4. 4 and like a little, on the outside they have like a little vestigial thing. But I don't think that's going to be visible. So I have little claws. Actually, I think I'm exaggerating the length there, so I should move that back. Like that. So I have a business trip that I'm going out to on Monday. I'll be gone for about a week. But the fun thing about that is I don't know if my flight is, because of all the stuff that's going on with like government shutdown and stuff. I don't know if my flight is actually going to be there or not when I when I head out to the airport. So that's fun. It will be fun to get back to the studio and actually visit with colleagues and friends though, but I hope my flight is not screwed up. God 101, hello, how's it going? I'm gonna get some teeth on this guy pretty quick because he looks kind of derpy without the teeth. And I'm gonna exaggerate. The teeth are definitely a part that I'm going to exaggerate. So when I worked on Anhanguera, their teeth are very big compared to their beak. So I'm probably going to pull in a little bit of that influence here. We'll see how big we can... I don't want them to look like unnatural, you know, or like monstrous. But They will be bigger than. I'll show you guys. Where's my Anaguara? This is my model of Anaguara that I did a long time ago. So you see how big the teeth are compared to the beak. So I think probably something closer to that is what I will try to go for. Probably slightly smaller than this, but still bigger than what a 100% paleo accurate Tropeo would be. So that's the idea. We'll try it out. Tazy, is this the female model? I haven't really had a chance to play with the crest. So whatever you're seeing on screen right now, just take it as a work in progress, you know? Like, I kind of have to develop everything as I go. So if you see something that's not what you expected, it's probably going to change. And to be honest, of all of the, like, I wouldn't say Tropeognathus has like a huge crest. At least not in my opinion. It's very like rounded and low. Maybe for an ornithochirid it has a big crest. I'm going to dim that down a bit. No, there will definitely be a difference between the male and female models. We've consistently been doing that for everything, so I think it would be weird to like break the pattern, you know, for the pterosaurs. So there will be that difference. I'm gonna actually do when we get further along in the development of this design sheet. There will be a detail of the female head compared to the male. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many teeth do I have? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 14 teeth. I don't know. I still care about paleo accuracy and here as far as like having a very good foundation, you know. So I want to make sure that that's solid. And then once I feel like it's in a good spot, then I can start pushing and pulling. Like these teeth here are probably bigger than a real Tropeo. But I don't know, you know, they could potentially be pushed further. But I won't know until I get a better idea of the whole design. Cooking Fish Love, do you also model the different life stages of the dinos? Yes, I do. I just finished the Purosaurus life stages. We were working on that last live stream. So if you're interested, you can go check that out on the YouTube channel. What's going to be really fun about the teeth is how they interlock when the mouth is closed. It's going to be kind of difficult to get that to, because they need to interlock at all life stages. So every time I change the proportion of the model, I'm going to have to double check the fit of the teeth, make sure that they actually slot together properly. So that's going to be kind of difficult. I think it's much more important with the Tropeo because the teeth definitely will look strange if they're interlocking, like intersecting each other. One, two, three, four, five. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 teeth on the lower jaw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're kind of oddly spaced too. I'm wondering if maybe just some of them are missing in the specimens that we have, or if they're actually spaced this way. I think I need to build up the chest a little bit more because they have this big keel on the front where all their pectoral muscles attach. So it's pretty big shape. So I want to make sure that I'm getting that down right. The hard thing about the wing too is that it comes all the way down to their legs. So even if I kind of hide the big wing membrane, I'm still getting some interference here. We'll try to work with that somehow. We'll indicate where it goes. Tropeo is kind of scary. Yeah, I mean, I think it should be, right? Like, it's this big, really big actually, compared to modern birds, but it's this really big lizard that's flying at you with all these teeth. So I'm at the stage now where I feel pretty confident with my sketch, and I'm starting to refine like the outline of the sketch, get a little bit more specific in certain areas. We'll see how the fuzz develops on him. I'll probably do that on a separate layer. That way I don't screw up my base sketch. The crest is also something I probably want to exaggerate just for design, like interest. I mean, it's an opportunity, right? Because this is we've got a bone core, but we don't really know how far the keratin can grow on top of it. So there might be some room there to maybe get a more interesting shape, or make it more prominent, more interesting in the silhouette. So we can do that, I think. Tropeo also has this like dip. I don't know if that's, I think it might be distortion. I don't know if I want to incorporate that. I think it's probably distortion in the bone, in the fossil. I think this would probably be pretty straight. And then this could be, I am going to exaggerate this more. The bottom one too. That's getting too wobbly now, though. So I gotta straighten that out. A lot of the teeth I'm noticing on the skulls that I could find are broken too. Like the tips are broken off. So probably be much scarier looking. The other thing that I'm not getting across quite too well. So these don't, the teeth don't like just poke straight out of the jaw. They, like if this is the jaw, they curve out like this. So it's not just like a straight tooth. So I don't think I'm conveying that very well. Not yet, at least. I'll work on it. Axolotl, like your design so far. Thanks. Going to see if we can maybe add a little bit of irregularity to the crest shape and see if that feels okay. I'll probably add just a tiny bit of shading in here too, just to get some dimension, because I don't know, I feel like it could use some. Tifa. Sorry guys, the little monster's awake. Okay, so that's, I'm not done with the side view or anything, but I think that's a decent spot to like try the top view now. I'm probably making this too big in terms of like resolution, you know. Maybe I'll keep this big one so that way I try to work a little non-destructively. I wonder if Clip Studio Paint has like smart, kind of like the equivalent of Photoshop smart objects. I don't know if that is a thing. We'll leave that. Because I'm, once I start adding in the top view, space is going to get very tight in here. No, I'm not the director of EOE. I am one of the art guys, yeah. Okay. So this is the top view little like skeleton thingy we did. The ZSpheres. Let's match these up. Let's be diligent and match the scales right away, so that way I'm not making stuff up. So that's how big this needs to be in proportion to the side view one. So like I said, that's a huge, the sheet is going to get huge. So let's just extend the canvas, might as well. Okay. So you see how small the side view gets once the full wingspan is in. Okay. And we can do a symmetrical ruler here. That way I don't have to do both sides. This ruler's off. Okay. Just so I'm not eyeballing stuff, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy the head at least. And then I'm going to use it as a ruler. So I'll show you guys what I mean. Special parallel. Where are my parallel lines? I didn't actually drag out the ruler. Like that. There we go. So I want to make sure that I'm using the same spacing. That should line up, but and then I'll use a different color for the teeth. I don't know if I really am going to worry too much about the teeth. They're probably going to change, but we'll just add guides here just to make sure they're generally in the same spot. It's kind of, I mean, I'm the one who's going to be modeling it anyway, so these are like, they're kind of notes for future me, but some notes are not as important as others. Symmetrical ruler. Then we'll start working on top view. I think I have a top view of a... I had one. Wouldn't the nasal opening be more at the back? That's not consistent with what I've seen in reconstructions lately. They've been putting the nasal, like the actual nostril, closer to the front of the anterorbital fenestra. They are fish eaters, but they're not like wading with their face in the water, you know what I mean? Like their faces go in underwater for a short period of time and then come back out. They're not like a Spino or something that has its face dipped in the water constantly, waiting for a fish to pass by. I can double check on that information, but that's the based on stuff that I've seen from like Mark Whitten, Matt Dempsey, friends of mine, colleagues of mine. That's how they've reconstructed them. So I feel more confident doing it that way than like putting them here. I can probably just ask them and see what they say. But we won't have that answer during live stream, of course. It'll probably be like next week or something. I might change the posture of the hind limbs just a little bit. Maybe. We'll see. Crazy thing about pterosaur anatomy, it really, really reminds me of human anatomy, especially the torso. Just the way things are arranged, very like... Because the scapula sit, I think, a little bit more to the top of the rib cage, and the front of the chest is much more flat, so I think it kind of superficially reminds me more of human anatomy, but there are still some huge differences. Yeah, Tazy. Anatomy is something I've always been super interested in, so I've studied it a lot. I still have references up and stuff, but a lot of it is memorized by now. And a lot of like, especially in the beginning when I was doing reconstructions, I would start out with the skeleton first and then do all the muscles on top. And just like repetition. That's really one of the fastest ways to learn anatomy is to like build the anatomy from the ground up. So if you're interested in learning anatomy, I would suggest doing that. Like, even it doesn't need to be like super fancy, you know. You can just create like a little stick figure model and put as long as the proportions are right, you can add all the muscles and stuff on top. But yeah, that's one of the fastest ways to learn anatomy, in my opinion. Because you really internalize everything at that point, because you have to see it. You're working directly with your hands. You're visualizing the shapes in 3D. I'm talking about more like clay sculpture. That's how I started. But ZBrush and stuff still helps. If you don't want to use clay. So this will give more of a sense of like how far these teeth like flare out. So wing membrane. Let's see. I've seen some reconstructions where they add the wing membrane like actually kind of part of the neck, like this. There's this little bone. There's a little bone that pops out here, like this. And this helps to suspend the wing membrane between the elbow and the shoulder. then, so for the leg, the attachment is pretty close to the ankle. And people used to reconstruct it like this, where that's very like pointed. I don't think we're gonna do that. We're gonna go more like this. And the wingtip is going to be much more rounded. I have a joint there, finger joint here. Here is where the rest of the fingers are. So this is the pinky. This is technically like their pinky finger. Okay. Let's see what it looks like without the guides here. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's see, this membrane here goes from the ankle to the, not the tip of the tail, but like the mid part of the tail. So I'll probably do a sketch of the Tropeo, like next to a person with their wings folded, so we can get a nice sense of scale. Furious sent me that reference, so I'll use that as the basis for the size. Got his little feet here. And probably, I was talking to Furious about some ideas to reinforce game mechanics, so we'll probably make his feet webbed. I don't know how obvious it'll be that they are webbed, but we'll have a little bit of webbing in between here, between his toes. So there's the beginnings of the model sheet. Side view, top view. Probably do a detail of, let's see. Turn that off. Make sure I'm labeling my layers properly. Top view. This is side view. So if we take this side view, duplicate that. I just want to do a quick study of how the head looks with the mouth closed. I'm going to take the head off. Move it down here, probably. Cut off his jaw. And then find the pivot points and rotate the jaw up. So this is where all that interlocking is gonna be an issue, right? So we'll have to figure that out. This will probably get more relaxed. I don't want him to have like a dewlap or anything. This was just like extra tissue for his, or maybe, I don't know. It's a fisher, right? So maybe he has like some sort of storage pouch thing here for fish. It would be like a different structure. It wouldn't be like a directly like a pelican or anything. Maybe like something analogous to that, but not exactly that. You can see that the teeth actually kind of interlock properly, but I'd have to spell out how exactly they're doing it. So like this goes in front of that one. This goes in front of this one. This one, that's these two are occupying the same spot, so I need to move one of those. These two could overlap. These two, I think these need to be, they need to go slightly forward. The teeth on the jaw. This one. These teeth need to move forward. Slightly. Scuttle. Is this the first flyer being done? Yes, this is the first flyer that we're working on for EOE. But I think he's gonna look pretty cool with his mouth closed. So yeah, this will work except for this tooth. What is this? 1, 2, 3. The fourth tooth is overlapping too much. So this tooth here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe if I shift these two back. Like this. It'll give me some space here. Without looking weird. So let's do that here. Get these two. It kind of has a knock-on effect. No, it was these two here. These ones. So that needs to be there. And then, yeah, it's got a chain reaction going on here. I'm just going to remove this tooth. We'll remove that tooth, and then we'll tack on, we'll add another tooth somewhere here. Just to make my life a little bit easier. We'll probably work it out better in 3D. But for right now... Nope, that's not what I wanted. This tooth here. For proof of, not proof of concept, but just as an idea. Lurgo Mains, who does the skin concepts for the game? It's several different people. I do some. Yaroslav does some. Void does some. It's a few different people. I think Yaroslav has done the most. He does like a ton of really cool looking skins. Pages and pages. That would be closed mouth. Something like that. I'm going to start modeling soonish. Once I feel like the concept is in a good spot, I will use this to model the actual Tropeo. I don't know if it'll happen probably within like a week, the next week and a half, maybe. I'll get into modeling. How do I make a skin concept? It would basically be some sort of sketch or like template that I would make. Something like this. It needs to have side view and top view at least. Especially for these flyers, because you need to be able to see both views. I think it'd be really important. But I would just make a new layer on top of everything or under everything, and then start working on colors. It's really not a fancy process. Once you have the drawing, you pretty much have everything you need to do the rest of the process. And it doesn't really matter when you do the concepts for the skins. You could do them in the beginning. You could wait till you have a model and then do it on the model itself. Just depends, really. Just doing some really quick suggestions of some form. Nothing too crazy. We'll probably do dedicate some time to doing a nice cleaning pass on all this stuff too. Make it a nice, there is like a display, quality to these. Like this is something that can be, put in like a gallery, like an online gallery, or maybe like an art book or something. You want it to look presentable. That's what I mean, like presentation value, There's an aspect of that. Because if it were just for me, I would probably call it good here and just start modeling. But I think we want to have something a little bit more fully fledged. let's see, Tazy. I don't know. As far as skins creation, like we we just started, so I can tell you, like, what is it? An hour and 51 minutes ago, Tropeo did not exist. So is there a certain playable you're most excited for? I think I am probably still most excited for Puru. Tazy, there's multiple skin artists on the team. I do skins. Void does skins. Yaroslav does skins. So there's at least 3 of us. We'll probably all chip in, and we'll probably see who, which skins look the best, but I'd imagine there'd be several different takes on it. Back to the other question. I think I'm still excited for Puru most. I do want to fly around. That's the thing when I'm working on a dinosaur and I start a new dinosaur, like the new dinosaur kind of gets my attention, and I start thinking about all the possibilities and I get excited about the new dino. But I still think I'm mostly excited for the Puru, yeah. Swim around, ambush people. Flyers, to me, feel like they would be very relaxing to play, maybe. I don't know. Just because you could get up and soar around. I don't know if it's like... I don't know what the game has planned. Like, if it's like just limitless flying. Or if there's like stamina or something that makes you have to land and rest. Because I'd imagine it'd be kind of unbalanced, right? If you could just stay up in the air forever and there's no threat to your life. But I don't know. Not the game designers, so I'll leave it to them to make that interesting. I'm not tired of skin questions. You're fine. Will community members be able to make skins of their own? I don't know. I'm not sure. I've seen other games and stuff do like community, like maybe they like run a, like Monster Hunter. It wasn't a skin design, but they did like community weapon design and prop designs and stuff, and then they had everybody vote on it, and like it was like a contest sort of thing. So maybe something like that could be done in the future, and then one of us could make the skin. I think that could be fun, but that wouldn't be my decision. It would be something Islander and everyone else probably talks about. But it would be cool. Like if you had, if one of you guys had a skin idea and it like made it through some sort of contest and I was able to put it on a dino, that would be fun. Okay. So, let's see. Is it nice to model something different after doing Peru for ages? Yes and yeah. I mean, I didn't feel like I was bored of Peru. Well, like, it goes through phases, right? Like, there's aspects of it when you're like starting out a new model. It like goes through ups and downs of like being really excited and like seeing lots of progress, and then it kind of, there's like hills that you have to climb to like push yourself to finish stuff. But yeah, starting something new is always fun. My goal is to try and get this done much faster than Peru. We're going to be doubling up on live streams for Tropeo, so Wednesday and Saturdays are going to be Tropeo streams. So theoretically, right, we should get it done twice as fast. I would say Tropeo's got some challenges in and of itself that the Perusaurus didn't. Like, it's complex in its own way. Like, Perusaurus had the topology was very intense because of all the spikies, you know, all the osteoderms on his back. That took a while. And sculpting took a while because of all of the custom scales and stuff that I had to do. That won't really apply to a pterosaur like this, but what is going to happen, I think, is when we get to the fuzzy, making him all fuzzy and stuff, he's not going to be like, don't think of him like, he's not going to be this big flying fur ball, you know. We're gonna make his fur look appropriate for like how threatening he is, I think. But that's gonna probably be the most time intensive part of it. Just getting that to look right. What was I gonna do? I was gonna scale this guy really quick. So I have this guy. I stole him from the Spino. So I'm probably just gonna eyeball it. For now, I'll get more accurate with it. But I want to see the size. We'll make a rough silhouette. And then we'll scale it to this character here. So like, based on Furious's diagram, the head of the Tropeo is like as long as the torso, like the head and torso of the human. So he's like that. Roughly. I think. I'll do some very accurate measuring with my with my fingers on my monitor. I think it's probably a little bit bigger. Something like this. Compared to the human. That's pretty big. I mean, he's not going to be carrying the guy around or anything, but it's a pretty big pterosaur. But we'll probably change the scale when I get some time to more accurately dial it in. Okay, guys, I think that's probably it for today. We made some pretty good progress. We got the we got most of it in there. I mean, the top and side views, most important parts. We'll do some refinements on it later. I still got to figure out like where all the pigna fibers go. Where the heck is my Echoes of Extinction folder? There it is. There we are. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. We're not going to have a Wednesday stream next week because I'll be gone for that business trip I was talking about. But I should be back Saturday and we'll pick up where we left off here. I think that's all the info I have for you. Otherwise, yeah, have a good rest of your Saturday. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye, guys.